Welcome user to spawn point.
So, Spellbreak. First off, this isn't a sponsored video. Hint, hint, Spellbreak, if you want. I wouldn't mind being sponsored. We wouldn't mind being sponsored, but I'll just leave that out there. This is just mainly out of sheer curiosity about what this game was. I personally like Battle Royales. I've been getting into them since January of this year. So when this one came out, it's kind of ironic because when I downloaded it, I didn't realize it was a Battle Royale. In all honesty, I thought it was a MOBA. I thought it was a free-to-play MOBA where you had different gauntlets and with magic abilities. Even during the tutorial, that's what I thought. So, anyway, to start, this Battle Royale is like some, but it's also fairly different. Because instead of actually having guns, you got gauntlets. You got 6 gauntlets to start out with, and I say to start out with because this game is still fairly new, so they may add more element gauntlets and stuff later on, but for right now there's 6. You have Conduit, which is lightning, Pyromancer, fire, Frostborn, which is ice, Stone Shaper, stone, Tempest, wind, and Toxicologist is like poison. Each one has a basic attack, which is like say for like Pyromancer, you're just hurling little fireballs. Tempest, you're throwing lightning. Frostborn, you're actually shooting a frozen arrow, which is kind of neat, and so on and so forth. And each one also has a stronger, like a power, like a stronger spell. I think they call them sorceries in this. And they do a little bit more damage, and they can actually help you in certain situations. Like Conduits is, you're pretty much calling a lightning strike on a certain area. Pyromancer, you can actually create a wall of fire, so that's really helpful if you want to create some space in between you and an enemy. Frostborn is you freeze everything around you, and Toxicologist is you actually hurl like a poison bomb that kind of goes off into certain areas, then covered in poison gas. I'm not going to talk about Tempest and Stone Shaper too much because at the time of recording this, I'm only about 10 matches in. And from my experience, Tempest and Stone Shaper are kind of the weaker ones, or at least I don't like them, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. But yeah, each one you have different abilities, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, wait, if they're spells, can I just spam them? No, you cannot spam them. In fact, you actually have mana in this game, and it's a little mana bar as you use different spells, or even if you double jump, you can actually levitate and stuff like that, which uses mana as well. That mana bar will appear, and you'll actually see how much mana you have, which is interesting because that means if you're in a fight with someone and stuff like that, you have to keep an eye on that bar, because once it's out, you can't cast any more spells. But don't worry, because there's also a thing called runes in this game. Runes are a special ability that help you along the way. You pick them up either through chests or just find them laying around. There are different ones such as like levitation, invisibility. There's a speed one, like just helps you run faster. There's a flight one, which is one of my favorites because I like using it to get out of sticky situations. And then there's also one which has like a wolf logo on it, I think. I can't think of the name right now, but it's you use it, you howl like a wolf, literally, and it actually outlines anyone around you. So you can actually see any enemies that are either hiding in a bush or behind a wall or something. So that can be really useful, especially near the end of a game. If somebody's just trying to hide, waiting for you to screw up, you can find them fairly easily. There's a whole bunch of different runes as well, so if you decide to play the game or anything, have a blast, look into them and all. I've only played 10 games. I don't think I've even seen all of them. Like I said, there are 6 different gauntlets, and what's interesting about Spellbreak compared to like other Battle Royales, except for maybe Warzone, because in Warzone when you come in, you actually do have a gun, but it's a starting pistol, but at least it's something still. But before you go into the lobby, you pick what gauntlet you want to start out with. So you pick one gauntlet, and it'll be your right gauntlet. So when you drop into a game, you already have one gauntlet, and then you just go around searching different chests, or again, just finding them on the ground. You can find a left gauntlet. but you can also upgrade your right gauntlet. The left gauntlet, you can pick whatever one you want, and you can change it whenever you want as long as you find one lying around. Right gauntlet, you stick with whatever that element is, but you can upgrade the level of gauntlet it is. Like, there are different levels, like in any other battle royale. There's common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. So as you go around and you find stronger gauntlets, you can upgrade them. So say you start out with Pyromancer. If you find a epic Pyromancer gauntlet, you can upgrade that one for your right gauntlet. But if it's a Frostborn gauntlet, you have to pick it up as your left gauntlet, because you have to stick with whatever element you chose coming into the game. Reason being is because just like you get to pick whatever gauntlet you come in with to start, each one you can create a build with 3 talents. How the talents work, there's mind, body, and soul, spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. And as you go on, you can actually find scrolls during the game to increase your talents so they actually do more. Some help you run away after you take damage, so if you want to try to get away if you're not equipped to fight, or some are improve your shield or healing, like health regeneration or whatever, and others actually help you straight up come back from the dead, which I don't recommend if you're playing solos, because I tried that a couple of times. Did not work out too well, so keep that in mind. But yes, you go in, you have 1 gauntlet to start, and you also have 3 talents, which help you. A big one, too, that I personally like is a lot of the mind ones actually help you increase your mana. So that helps a lot, because then you can do more damage. There's also items in the game as well. Only they don't actually go to your inventory, or whatever you want to call it. That is actually saved for stuff like health potions or shield shards in this game. So health potions, you can have a regular one or a big one, and then same thing with shards as well. For the shields, it's regular and then big one. The thing with those is you actually can, once you consume them, it gradually increases it. It doesn't set it back automatically. So keep that in mind. If you just think you take a potion, you're not going to go back to 100 health right away. So just keep that in mind if you do play this. Now, back onto items themselves. There's actually 3 items that you can pick up throughout the game. There are amulets, which help you increase the amount of mana you have. There are belts, which actually improve your armor. So the better belt you have, the better armor you have, or more armor you have. And then there's also boots, which help your movement speed. And boots are so fucking helpful in this game. Like, the first game I played, I was like, why am I so slow? Then I picked up even just a pair of common boots, and I swear to God, I moved like twice as fast. So if you see a pair of boots on the ground, pick them up, or at least make sure you have boots on, because it'll help you with your movement speed so much. Trust me on that. But yeah, so you have those 3 different items. You pick them up during the game. Again, they have different rarities as well. So the more rare the item is, the better it does. So yeah, just keep that in mind. There's not too much around it. Like I said, from chests and stuff like that, as you collect them, most of the time you'll get maybe some items like the amulet, boot, or belt. Boots or belts, or I can't. Wow, seizure. You can get boots, a belt, or an amulet from chests, or you can also get scrolls, which scrolls are interesting because they help improve your talents as well, so they actually do more in the game. And then you can also find other gauntlets and stuff like potions and shield shards in that. Now that's pretty much it for items in the game itself. Now onto the map. The map is actually a decent sized map, which is weird because of the fact that most lobbies that I've seen, I think the most I've had in a single lobby has been 42. Now, I don't know if it's just because this is a new game, so it's a smaller lobby, or if it's by choice. I think at this time, it's more by choice, just because the fact, like, I looked a couple days ago, and they hit like 5 million players. So I'm assuming at this point it's by choice. It's not by accident or just because of there's a low amount of players. I think it's actually by choice that they have a smaller lobby, which is really nice because someone who's plays a decent amount of Fortnite, you start out with 100 people, sure, but depending on where you drop, that 100 goes to 60 like in 2 seconds, it feels like. And then you have a 15-minute game with 60 people, which is pretty much what you get out of Spellbreak, but you don't start out with 100 and then instantly go to 40. You start out with 40 and it goes from there. That being said, you'd think that because it's a smaller lobby would be a faster game. It really isn't. On average, most games I had were around 15 minutes, which really isn't a bad thing. The only downside I will say, though, is because with a lower amount of people, there are times where you just are not going to see people, because it is a fairly decent-sized map, so you're not going to see people. And that being said, if you're someone who likes to get high-kill games, like 10K, 20K games or whatever, you're not going to get that. I think the highest I got was when I placed second. I got, I think, 7 kills. And that was the most I got in a single game, was probably around 7 or 8 kills. So if you're someone who likes to get a lot of action in their games and stuff like that, just be careful playing this game. It's similar to other battle royales. It's kind of a slow burn, I guess. And that's the one downside, is unlike Fortnite or even COD for Warzone and stuff like that, if you drop in a hotspot, you're guaranteed a bunch of action because there's a bunch of other people around. But in this game, you start out with 42 people, and they mostly are fairly spaced out, because unlike in those games when you have a battle bus or a plane that drops people off, you actually choose in the waiting lobby where you want to drop. There are different circles all throughout the map. You pick where you drop, and you drop right there. You fall out of the sky, and you drop in that area. Yes, you can drop with other people and get some action at the very start, but it's nothing like the other games and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. If you like high-killing games, might not be for you. But that doesn't mean it's not fun, though, because, again, the way they go about it is very, very interesting. I personally enjoy it because you have 6 gauntlets, each with a different element, and you can do so many different things with it. You'd think that, there's only 6 weapons, and that's it. But there isn't, because each of those weapons interacts differently with other ones. So say you have the toxicologist one, the poison one, and you have the fire gauntlet. You can actually put them together by throwing a poison bomb, so it's a smoke bomb, and then you throw fire at it, and it creates a giant poison fire bomb. And same thing with if you throw a poison bomb and you have lightning, and you hurl lightning at it, it actually creates like a stun trap, so it poisons and stuns them at the same time. There's hundreds of different combinations you can do with these gauntlets, so there's a lot of creativity to it. So while on the surface it feels like it's a fairly small, minimalist game, there's actually a lot behind it. And it seems like the developers of this game are really excited in progressing and even putting story behind the game itself, which is why I think that there's going to be more gauntlets. There probably will be a battle pass. There are going to be new additions to this game. But long story short, I like this game. I like Spellbreak. I think it's a fresh take on battle royales, which was kind of needed, because while I believe Fortnite has kind of found an interesting twist with the whole Marvel season recently, it's still Fortnite. It's still the battle royale that's been around for 3 years, and Warzone is Warzone. Like, most battle royales feel like battle royales. This one doesn't, and I enjoy that. I think it's a very fresh take on battle royales, and it's interesting because if you like MOBAs, you might like this just because of how they do it. So my recommendation, I would play this game. It's free to play anyway, so why not download it? Check it out. You might like it. But don't just look at it and be like, oh, it's a battle royale, so it's gonna be dumb. You never know. So, yeah. Like I said, it's a free game. Check it out. For right now, Violet, play me out.